Once upon a time, nestled at the edge of a sun-dappled forest, there was a cozy little cottage where a sweet young girl lived. She was adored by everyone, especially by her kind grandmother, who had lovingly crafted a beautiful red velvet riding hood for her. The girl loved it so much that she wore it everywhere she went, and soon everyone simply called her Little Red Riding Hood. One bright morning, her mother called to her, holding a small basket. "Your grandmother isn't feeling well today," she said softly. "I've packed some fresh bread, a little pot of honey, and some lovely flowers to cheer her up. Would you be a dear and take this to her?" Little Red Riding Hood agreed at once, her heart full of love for her grandmother. As she took the basket, her mother gave her a gentle reminder. "Now, remember to go straight to your grandmother's house. Stay carefully on the path and do not wander off." The little girl promised she would, and with a quick hug, she set off on her journey. The forest was alive with the gentle humming of bees and the cheerful songs of birds. Sunlight streamed through the tall trees, making patterns on the forest floor as Little Red Riding Hood skipped happily along the well-trodden path. It wasn't long before a wolf appeared beside her, walking at a gentle pace. "Good morning, Little Red Riding Hood," he said in a smooth voice. She, not knowing any reason to be afraid, replied with a polite, "Good morning, Mr. Wolf. And where might you be going on such a fine day?" the wolf inquired. "I am on my way to visit my dear grandmother," she explained. "She lives just a little way through the forest, in the cottage beneath the 3 large oak trees." The wolf's eyes gleamed for a moment. "Those flowers in your basket are lovely," he remarked, "but have you seen the beautiful wildflowers blooming just over there? I am sure your grandmother would be even happier with a large, colorful bouquet." Little Red Riding Hood looked and saw a meadow of sparkling flowers. Thinking it was a wonderful idea, she forgot her mother's words for just a moment and stepped off the path to gather some more. While she was busy picking the prettiest blossoms, the clever wolf took a shortcut and ran all the way to the grandmother's cottage. He knocked gently on the door. "Who is there?" called the grandmother from her bed. Pitching his voice high, the wolf replied, "It is Little Red Riding Hood, and I have brought you some treats." The grandmother, weak and frail, called out, "Oh, please lift the latch and come in, my sweet child. I am not strong enough to get to the door." The wolf slipped inside, quickly found the startled grandmother, and hid her away safely in a large wardrobe. Then he put on her nightgown and cap, clambered into the bed, and pulled the blankets right up to his chin, waiting patiently. A little while later, Little Red Riding Hood arrived, her arms full of flowers. She walked up to the bed and noticed that her grandmother looked very strange. "Oh, grandmother," she began, "what very big ears you have." The wolf replied from under the covers, "All the better to hear you with, my dear." The little girl leaned a bit closer. "And grandmother, what very big eyes you have." The wolf answered, "All the better to see you with, my dear." Little Red Riding Hood hesitated. "But grandmother, what very big hands you have. "All the better to hug you with, my dear," the wolf said, stretching a paw from under the blanket. "Oh, but grandmother," she whispered, "what a very big mouth you have." At that very moment, a brave woodsman who was passing by happened to glance through the cottage window. He knew at once that something was amiss and quietly crept inside. He saw the wolf and, without a sound, went to the wardrobe and helped the real grandmother out. Little Red Riding Hood gasped, then smiled with relief. The woodsman calmly but firmly told the wolf to leave and never frighten anyone in the forest again. The wolf, feeling quite embarrassed, scampered out the door and disappeared into the trees. After all the excitement, Little Red Riding Hood sat with her grandmother, and they shared the delicious bread and sweet honey together, their hearts full of joy and relief. From that day on, the little girl never forgot her mother's wise words, and she always stayed safely on the path. Now, the forest is quiet. The stars are beginning to twinkle, and it is time for you to drift off into sweet, peaceful dreams. The end.